So let's continue talking about the 4Gs. Last week we learned the first one, that God is great, which means He is in control, therefore I do not have to be. God's greatness or control speaks to my frustration, an area of brokenness in my life. By resting and trusting in God's control, I find freedom, relief, and no need to be frustrated. Now let's look at the second 4G, that God is glorious. This 4G speaks to our fears, addressing who or what we are afraid of. Fear is a powerful force that drives our responses, actions, or inactions. Your fear of another person can impact how you live your life. The gospel reality of this 4G is that God alone is to be feared. Simply because God is God, He can do anything, anytime He chooses, anywhere He chooses, and to anyone He chooses. God can heal the sick, raise the dead, guide the forces of nature, create and destroy matter, anything He decides to do. And for that reason, He is to be feared above anything or anyone else. The gospel implication of this 4G is that I don't have to fear others. If my view of God is as it should be, and I rightly fear Him by believing that nothing or no one is beyond His ability to influence or change, then why should I have to live in fear of someone else or allow intimidation to control how I live? Why would I let a fear of circumstances direct how I live and respond? So this 4G is stated like this: God is glorious, which means God alone is to be feared. Therefore, I do not have to fear others. This truth about God should give you incredible comfort and courage. Some of you live your life in fear or intimidation of someone or something. You feel you have to walk on eggshells. You even arrange your schedule so you have limited contact with that person or situation. That fear is controlling a big chunk of your life, and that's bondage. God intends for you to be free from your fears. And the way for that to happen is to realize you have nothing to fear from anyone or anything on this earth. God alone is to be feared. The fact is, when you let your fear of others direct your decisions or actions, what you are saying is that you believe someone else is more powerful than God. You're choosing to allow someone or something other than God to guide you. And what it's called when you allow anything other than God to guide you? Idolatry. Here's something you can do to be released of your fear of others. Begin praying sincerely for their good. As you genuinely pray, asking God to give you a heart for them and asking Him to do good for them, you find your fear of them is replaced by love. The Bible says perfect love drives out fear. So when you fear God rightly, you are released from the grip of your fear of others, and you can live with freedom and courage as you relate to others. Who or what are you afraid of? Are you letting that fear influence your decisions or actions? If so, you need to call yourself out on that. Agree with God that it's sin, and tell Him you've been letting that fear control you. Believe the gospel that God alone is to be feared, and then walk in that freedom with courage to relate in love to those who intimidate you. Peace, my friends.